Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master Chaos back with you once again. Tonight, we're talking Ripoffs. More specifically, we're talking the new Mutants movie, which is technically not a new movie, but, well, we'll get into all that. I love the smell of a good ripoff in the morning, or in the middle of the night. That's good too. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the New Mutants, I do want to throw out a couple shout-outs to some of my fellow subscribers. I'm at 340 currently. I am close, very close, within striking distance. Isn't that the name of a Bruce Willis movie? Striking Distance? Isn't that the name, right? Striking Force? Something stupid like that. It was a horrible movie. Anyway, I'm within 10 subscribers of 350. That is amazing. I'm honored to be at 340. If we can get to 350, I'd be even more honored. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing and join the family. While you're here, by the way, drop me a thumb. Please give me that thumbs up because that helps with the rankings and the algorithms and the rigmarole. Anyway, it helps the video get out there, helps more people enjoy Master Chaos as much as you are. So, please drop me a thumb before we continue. Now, shoutouts, shall we? Number one shoutout is going to go to Rejects Films. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Second shoutout goes out to a fellow YouTuber. His name is Mondo Chelovek Movies. Mondo, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you subscribing, and I really love your content. Guys, if you don't know Mondo Chelovek Movies, please go check out his channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Third shoutout goes to Gray1951. Gray, thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I look forward to chatting with you in the comments below. I also look forward to chatting with you, my friend, in the comments below, so please drop me a comment. Feel free. Have you seen New Mutants? What did you think? Let me know your thoughts, because you're about to know my thoughts. Okay, let's talk ripoffs. It is my strong belief that the New Mutants is a direct and blatant ripoff of not only the Freddy Krueger character and the conceit of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, but of almost beat for beat Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. I'm gonna guess you know what The Dream Warriors is, so I'm going to skip any kind of synopsis. Everyone knows that Nightmare 3 is one of the best sequels in the franchise. New Mutants is considered the end of the Fox era of X-Men films. Is it a good film? I am going to cut to the chase and tell you that it is not. Why is it a bad film? I could list a whole bunch of reasons, but I'm not going to because there really is only one main reason. Well, two main reasons. I'll list it for you. Two main reasons. Number one, it's a ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. As a matter of fact, somebody else, besides Wes Craven, should be turning in their grave, and they're not even dead yet, and that's John Carpenter. If you've seen John Carpenter's last film, The Ward, granted, it's a terrible, terrible movie, and it's a blight on his filmography, but if you've seen The Ward, you've seen New Mutants. If you've seen Nightmare 3, you've seen New Mutants. Second reason, it's boring. Boring! New Mutants is a relatively short movie. I mean, it's about a 90-minute runtime, and it is super dull for about an hour of that film. It tries to be a superhero horror movie, and that's where the ripoff elements for Nightmare on Elm Street really come in, because it turns out, it's not really a spoiler, so I'm just gonna say it. One of the trapped mutants has the power to make your worst fears come true. It's basically give you nightmares. I mean, that's essentially what's happening. So for the first hour, the mutants are sort of experiencing nightmares, but not even that often. Most of the time, they're just kind of walking around, talking about their situation and how depressed they are. It's a very emo superhero movie, and that's not a good thing. If I were Freddy Krueger, I would be pissed. Why? Essentially, his shtick is used as a X-Men mutant power. Now, I don't know if that's comics accurate, but if I were Freddy, I would be pissed, because they essentially took one of the best Nightmare sequels and turned it into a superhero, well, would-be superhero movie, I should say. Here's what my man should do. You should find a lawyer, somebody cheap, maybe a pro bono guy. Well, you know what? It doesn't really matter. He's Freddy, so find the most expensive lawyer you can, Fred. Don't worry, because you'll kill him after, so you don't have to pay any bills. And go after, I guess, Disney at this point. Go after Disney. Tell Disney you're not going to take their shit. They stole your life story. They stole your X-Men powers. And, well, I would say sue them for all they're worth, but I don't think New Mutants is going to make much money. I don't think it's doing very well, and it's not COVID that's to blame. I'm pretty sure it's the movie itself. I mean, the thing is, it was delayed, what, 3 years? Think about that. 3 years. The studio didn't like this movie enough. But they waited, sat on it for what, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, something like that? Everyone knew there was something fishy, and now we know what it is. It's a boring movie with no real third act, and it's a complete blatant ripoff of the entire Nightmare franchise. Seriously, Fred, call me, man. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I could probably hook you up with somebody good and maybe get you something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some New Mutants posters. I mean, something. You got to get something back, man, because they milked you, man. They milked you dry. And I don't use that phrase lightly, my friend. It is 100% Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Complete ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Toss in, you know, a couple lesbians. Toss in a giant demon bear. Don't ask about the demon bear. I don't really want to go into it because it's spoilery. What I do want to go into is story time with Master Chaos. If you've been following along, we are writing a community horror story for Halloween. So far, I've had 5, 6 of you contribute to the story. Our story is called The Candlewood Horror, and today we're going to find out who answered the trivia question. Yesterday's trivia question was from the film Back to the Future. The person who answered it is my good friend Art with Horror. He was able to jump on that real quick, and he was able to provide the next installment in our story, which is... Now, Art didn't qualify as to who was saying this, but I'm going to guess this is coming from Chuck, the husband who is armed with a gun, and he says the following: "Hell no, let's go see what it is. It should be exciting." Okay, Art, great job. Here's the next installment from me. Chuck grabbed his wife and dragged her up the side of the mountain with his other hand still gripped around the pistol. And boom! Are they going to banter some more? Are they going to find something creepy up on that mountain? Well, it's up to you, my friend. So here we go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to provide a movie quote. The first person who answers down below in the comments what that movie is from will be able to respond and give us the next installment of that story. I'm going to give him an offer he can't refuse. What movie is that from? Let me know in the comments down below, and you will become a part of our story, The Candlewood Horror. Let me backtrack and tell you what the plot of the movie is. Maybe, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll get on the same page that way. The film revolves around a group of mutants that live in some kind of abandoned building. Now, there's only five of them? One, two. So, there's only 5 mutants, and they are in this abandoned facility. They're being watched over by a doctor who is there to, she says, protect them from mankind and protect mankind from them. She's studying them. She wants to learn from them. She wants to know what their powers are, what the limits of their powers are, blah, 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 blah. We're not really sure if she's good or bad, but we assume she's not necessarily keeping their best interests at heart. Towards the end, that becomes a little clearer. Now, there's no real link here to the X-Men universe. As far as I'm concerned, I will be honest, haven't read the comic books. I had no idea who the hell the New Mutants were. I've seen all the X-Men films. I'm not a huge fan of that universe, to be honest. So, coming into this movie, it's already not for me. However, this is not even a movie that fits in that universe because there's no real link. They mention the X-Men, and there's sort of a hint to Professor X. At least I thought it was a hint. Again, I don't know all the history elements, which is, I know, tied into the comics and whatever, and I don't even know how comics accurate this is. I'm sure if you know, please let me know in the comments, how comics accurate was this? Because this looked like a shit pile. One of the New Mutants, her power goes out of control. This is that nightmare power, and that's sort of what leads to our final act. And that's another problem I had with the movie. There really is no villain in the movie. There is sort of a villain, but not really. The main villain turns out to be sort of nightmare fuel based. and essentially real but not real. So you get the sort of prerequisite big finale battle, superhero battle. However, not all of them use their powers, and they don't. I mean, I guess they do, but not in a satisfying way. We're like, oh damn, that's Wolf Girl. Oh dude, that's Fireman. Oh man, that's super fast Rocket Boy. Oh, that's Russian Sword Arm Girl. I don't know the names. The point is, the third act is a sort of a tacked on, cheesy CGI fest. Not satisfying, really kind of confusing. And then when you realize what's really going on, you're like, wait a minute. So this whole thing could be just settled if somebody just stops using their powers? You know, I do have some good news, not tied into the New Mutants, of course. My new book, Viewer Beware, the Goosebumps TV Companion, will be out in time for Halloween. So I'm going to find a link from the publisher. I'm going to put it in the description if I can. And hopefully you guys will be interested in picking it up. It covers the show, the Goosebumps television series. Of course, all 4 seasons. I had a really fun time writing that book. I'm kind of becoming a specialist in those horror TV show episode guide, interview books. I'm having a blast with those, by the way. So I know I had a couple of hard knocks recently when it comes to film, but my book career is going strong, and I'm thriving, and I'm having a blast with that. And I may have some really good news about another book deal coming up, and that I will reveal maybe next time, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure, but stay tuned, because I've got some really fun news coming up for that. Ultimately, my friend, New Mutants is worthless. I would say if you're on the fence about watching it, I'd say skip it. It's almost like the entire movie is a first act, because at the end of the movie is really when, like, oh, the team's together and now they're going to go do stuff. So it's almost like a very unnecessary movie, almost like the first episode of a TV show. That's kind of what this feels like a TV movie pilot. You know, like maybe it's a little longer episode, sort of sets up, you know, where everybody comes from, but it doesn't feel like a movie. It certainly is not a theatrical experience type of movie. Well, friends, that'll do it for me. This has been your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos. I hope you've enjoyed this review/warning for New Mutants, because honestly, I'm doing this for you. I want to keep you safe. Well, pal, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. This is a daily show. If you subscribe, that means I'll see you tomorrow, and it was such a pleasure meeting you today. I hope you'll come back and hang out with me, and we'll talk movies, collecting, Hollywood history, creepy stuff, Halloween. We do it all here, and well, I'd like you to come along. It was really nice seeing you today. If you're old here, I knew you'd be back. I'm psychic like that. And you know why I'm psychic? Because you give me the power. And you know where I get that power from? Because you're the pumpkin to my spice. Oh, you didn't know that? You didn't know that pumpkin spice gives you psychic powers? Well, you're a fucking idiot. Just kidding. I love you. I love you. Well, that'll do it for me, my friend. I hope this video has found you happy, healthy, and well. I wish you the best. I really do. Stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. If we can make each other happy, if we can make each other smile, well, that's a wonderful gift. It's a wonderful gift. So maybe today, go and make someone smile. Well, this has been your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos, signing off, and I guess I'll see you when I see you. Until we meet again, I wish you a very pleasant good night, wherever you are, and I myself remain to be continued.